snap. What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with a special edition of UFC. We're going to talk about some of these UFC fights. I'm going to watch them as well, go over some of the topics in boxing. Devin Haney seems to be one of the topics that a lot of people have a lot to say, but I also want to share some insight on this whole situation that seems to be getting out of control more and more every day. So I'm going to get back to that and as well cover some of these UFC cards. Seems to be that having a little situation here with my sound effects at the end here. Here we go. Much better. All right. There we go. Now let's just kick off this episode correctly. What's up, guys? Told you I'd be back at it. I'm going to wait for you guys to start to tune in. As you tune in, let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to be covering, some of these UFC fights, jumping off here, and some of the top stories. Right now, we got the Trailblazer. He's going to be entering the ring shortly. He's a very good UFC fighter. He's been around for a long time. Never had a world title, but it's definitely always somebody looking for the hunt. So let's see what he does right here. Plus, I want to see the women's undercard. That's going to be a good one. So let's talk while we get this UFC card going. Right now, currently, there's no one in the ring. And main event cards are going to start kicking off now. So as that starts to get scheduled and to be on the way, let's talk about this situation with Devin Haney real quick. Well, Devin Haney right now, he's really putting himself in a really, really interesting situation right now in boxing. And it's starting to show. A lot of boxing promoters and Devin Haney himself are giving Devin Haney and Bill Haney a lot of pushback on his decision to take Ryan Garcia to court. And what a lot of these people are saying right now is, what does Bill Haney think that these promoters are going to do after he takes him to court and tries suing another boxing promoter, which is Oscar De La Hoya, right? This is going to make other boxing promoters not want to work with Devin Haney. And it's showing. Ed Hearns already walked away from Devin Haney with the Liam Paro fight, that he was going to try to put Devin Haney versus Liam Paro. And now Liam Paro is fighting Richard Hitchinson in Puerto Rico. That goes to show that they moved on from Devin Haney. The WBC has also moved on from Devin Haney, where they're putting other guys to fight for his world title. There are not a lot of places Devin Haney can go now. I don't believe that Bob Arum's going to give him Teofimo Lopez. He's just not going to work with him. And then Golden Boy will never work with Devin Haney again. Ed Hearns doesn't seem to be wanting, and the PBC is not going to work with Devin Haney unless he signs with them. So after this Devin Haney lawsuit, by burning all his bridges with the top boxing promoters, Where does he go from there? Do you think that these top boxing promoters are just going to give Devin Haney DHP and sign up to fight him? They're just going to allow their fighters to fight with Devin Haney. Where's Devin Haney going to get these opponents? I guarantee you, Devin Haney's going to push himself into a corner, and his next fighter that you guys are going to see him get in the ring with is going to be an unknown fighter. He's going to have to fight somebody that's not connected to most of these boxing promoters and some of these smaller promoters, and that's going to be real hard to do to get a big name. Because once you get big enough in boxing, you get a small boxing promoter, and then you and your small boxing promoter sign to a bigger promotional company. It's typically what happens, or you leave your small one and just sign with them. Either way. And that goes to show you that in this world, this game, boxing, these promoters still got a strong hold on boxing. And all this Mayweather stuff that Mayweather put into these young kids' heads about being their own boxing promoter, look what's going on with Devin Haney and Oscar De La Hoya. The reason why Devin Haney and Bill Haney are going after Oscar De La Hoya, and they're trying to make it seem like Oscar De La Hoya got paid from Ryan Garcia. So why didn't we get paid, right? That's what they're making it seem like. But the truth is, Oscar De La Hoya got over on Devin Haney and Bill Haney. How? They had him sign the contract, and it said net worth, not gross. And they paid him off like the net worth, not the gross of the fight. And Bill Haney and Devin Haney probably lost millions of dollars by that wordation in the contract. Bill Haney and Devin Haney are salty behind that. Devin Haney got paid, but he didn't really get paid like he should have if just Oscar De La Hoya knew what he was doing as a boxing promoter, and he slid one under the Haneys. And it left Devin Haney and Bill Haney with a bad taste in his mouth as a business deal because Oscar De La Hoya and company walked away with the lion's share of the money. Yeah, they did. And that's the reality of it. Bill Haney and Devin now are like, yo, they got screwed around so many different ways in this fight and with Ryan testing with PEs that Bill and Devin had it up to here. But they needed to take this one on the chin and a learning curve because this is what a lot of boxing promoters go through. That's why the PBC doesn't work with no one. Al Heyman doesn't work with no one because of these type of things that go on in boxing. That's exactly why Al Heyman doesn't get in bed with Top Rank Ed Hearn, and he keeps a lot of his fights in-house. He gets a lot of criticism, but he doesn't like fucking with these sharks and these network, and they add shit into the game. Why you think the PBC likes to control everything, but they're getting a lot of criticism? When you don't know what you're doing against these top boxing promoters that have been in this game for years, and they know how to be shiesty, how to word things properly in a contract, how to put this, that, and get the most for their fighter. If you're trying to be a promotional company like DHP and you're coming in and your dad thinks that he worked with music execs and records and that he got experience in that kind of business, well, here's a lesson in boxing, Bill. You don't know it all. And you should come out of pocket for better lawyers to read your son's contract and to look these kind of things over. That's why Bill Haney and Devin Haney are going so hard after Oscar De La Hoya and them. And Ryan. Yo, they got between the money that it was gross, between Ryan missing weight, between Ryan testing positive for PEs, right? Between all that stuff, they salty. The Haneys is salty as hell. They actually played themselves. Because had he had a better lawyer to look over that contract before signing it, Devin Haney, and multiple other situations like with George Camboza, where his father got him that stupid ass deal that gave George Camboza $10 million and didn't give him but nothing but peanuts. Like, who's working out these deals for you, son? Yo, listen, Devin, I think your father took you as far as you can go. I don't like to break up a father and son relationship because I think it's a beautiful thing. But I think your father should take a step back. He can still be in the picture looking over everything. But at the same time, he needs to have professionals coaching your son and promoting your son. All this tactics of music, tactics is not working for you in boxing, bro. You guys are being played and you're basically becoming the laughing stock of boxing when your son is a very talented fighter. It would be a shame to see Devin Haney's career just plummet because he never gets fights that he needs, because now after this lawsuit, these promoters don't want to work with him. And all these top promoters own all the top fighters. They definitely have all the top guys and number one guys that are in the ranking system under their control. So after you win a couple bucks in court, what is it worth to you? If boxing is basically going to blackball Devin Haney. And I've said this before. I said it and they laugh. People laugh. Oh, yeah, nah, you don't know what you're talking about, blackball. Devin Haney, DHP, he'll get these fights. But how? How when you're suing one of the boxing promoters? And all these boxing promoters might not like each other, but they will keep what they have strong, the hold on boxing. By allowing one of the promoters to fall or betraying the other ones for Devin Haney, what's that going to do for them? So they're going to take their entire boxing promoting company and all their fighters and just step on Devin Haney's side. For what? Or they're going to corner him in. Devin Haney's screwed. He goes along with this, he's basically done. You're not fighting none of Ed Hearn's fighters. You're not fighting any of Oscar De La Hoya's fighters. You're not fighting any of top-ranked fighters. And the PBC ain't going to fight with you unless you sign to them. You're done. Where's the world title fights going to come out from? From where? You better enroll in the IBF. And I don't know what contenders, what he's got to enroll in the IBF ranking system. I don't know how he's going to get these guys to fight him. I don't know how he's going to earn the respect of the IBF, because none of the top IBF guys are going to fight him because they're probably going to be signed to the top promotional companies. Devin Haney is probably going to wither away to obscurity. That's a damn shame. See, I try to say it's not about morals here. It's not about, wanting to get money back for Devin Haney, and this is bigger than boxing. A few heads might roll. You think he's just gonna hit the bees next? Looks what's happening to P. Diddy. What happened when he went against the powers that be? No, they're not teaching him a lesson. Nah. He did this all to himself. The power of instability wasn't taken off of him. No, he didn't piss off the wrong people. P. Diddy. No, this is all his own doing. Yeah, that girl spoke up and exploited it all. Yeah, and now we get no bullshit. Typically, that little video in the hotel, the powers that be would have had that tape. The powers that be would have silenced that girl. The powers that be would have never let this get this far. They would have shut all this off. P. Diddy pissed off somebody and they leaked everything and they're letting it go. That's exactly what's happening here. That's a powerful man being brought down by other powerful men. That's exactly what's happening. It's crazy because they're using sex as like the means, right? Okay, I get it. The sex trafficking, the beatings, the drugs, stuff like that. Well, did you come back the next day? Did you leave the party and come back? What if you were sex trafficked and you were brought there and you were beaten and put in a cage or something? Now that's crazy, right? But now you can't even have sex in America. You can't even have a freak off in your own house without the world scrutinizing you. Really? If you want to take a fucking carrot and shove it in somebody's ass, that's your business. Now, where the line is drawn is where it's against my will. The minute she says no, stop, we're done. We are done. Right? Okay. Whatever I did, get dressed. We good, right? Somebody's not having fun. But all these other accusations, I'm not there. I'm not even sure if they're true. What I know to be true is the one thing they keep saying, P. Diddy and all these freak offs. I'm like, all right, freak offs. Okay, he's banging rappers. Did they come back the next day? Did they go there the first day? And did they come back? Did they go again? Did they come back again? Were they allowed to leave and come back? Now, I'm not sure about that, right? Okay. Powerful men are taking him down. And boy, they're doing a great job at it. PD's in all kinds of troubles. He's on all kinds of memes. And I really don't know exactly what's going on. Like I say, I don't get into the politics. But on the scratching the surface, just scratching the surface, there's a lot of shit probably going to come out. A lot of movie stars, whatever. Probably some sadistic shit. I don't know, right? But just scratching the surface, this is about a sex case, about a man in a mansion throwing big parties and having huge orgies. You mean to tell me we can't do that? We can't do that. I don't give a fuck if there was a goat, a chicken, if dudes was doing it, girls. That's people's business, right? Where are we going in America now? They're going to tell us they're going to dictate our position now. What? He didn't do missionary. He told you to do what? Turn around. Oh, no, you turn around, buddy. You're going to jail. Right? Where are we going with this, right? This is crazy. Now, like I said, there's probably a whole bunch of shit that's going to come out, man. He's probably drugging some people and these sex trafficking words are being thrown around. I'm not sure. I've never seen him with a sex trafficking worker. I never actually seen P. Diddy with it. That's what people are saying. I don't know. But then what they saying about a lot of the rappers and dude and shit like that, I'm pretty sure he didn't have Meek Mill's hostage. He was seen over here on a photo shoot, and he was seen over there in a video. Then he was seen over. He was probably free to come and go. Did he go back there? But yet, homeboy's getting charged with all this. It's crazy. It's about a whole bunch of shit probably gonna come out. I'm gonna sit back and laugh, have me a good laugh, right? Right? Because this is entertainment for me, but I really don't follow it. I just like wait until everything blows up and then everybody react to it, and then I'll catch a couple things. I really don't know nothing about this case. Absolutely nothing. All I know is some baby oil was popping off and P. Diddy was having too much fun. That's all I know. That's all I know. Right. And he's in jail. That's it. But Devin is in look, let's all jokes aside, right? Should Devin had sued Ryan Garcia for the PE, he could have hurt Ryan. Devin Haney in there. Yeah, sure. Yeah. What's right is right. Right? What's right is right. And but should he? Should he? Should he work something out? Bill Haney's going to have to take this on the chin. Oscar De La Hoya got over on you. He did. He did. Oscar De La Hoya, I can imagine, got like an extra 13, 20 million by that, just that little word phrase. And Devin Haney and then walked away with a couple of dollars from that fight. Basically, Oscar got him, and they're mad. They're really mad. And I know that they don't want to make that public, but that's what they're going to court for. In fact, they're not actually suing Ryan Garcia for PEUs. They're suing Ryan for assault and battery. Assault and battery, the reason why the lawyer goes that way with it, right? Because the PE scandal was already resolved. He pleaded guilty to not turning in 2 supplements, not reporting them. So they did that. What they're trying to do, and what Devin Haney, Bill Haney's lawyers trying to convince the Haneys, right, is that by applying the lawsuit under the assault and battery, you're gonna have to explain how the assault and battery occurred. And since you signed the contract for a boxing match, meaning there's no way assault and battery can be filed, unless you cheated or committed a foul. Under those guidelines, then the judges say, well, where was the foul? That's when Devin Haney's lawyer will come in, is because he tested positive for PEs. So the judge says he tested positive for a banned substance. Now they're going to hear that argument. It's whether or not the judge allows that argument in. But you got to get it into court. You're not going to be able to say, Ryan Garcia, we're suing you for testing positive for PEs, when he never pleaded guilty to testing positive for PEs. Do you understand? If he was to sue Ryan Garcia right now and say, hey, Ryan Garcia tested positive for PEs, they're going to say, well, let me see what he got found guilty for. And they're going to see it's not there. They're going to say, well, it's not here. You're going to have to find a way to bring it back up. You're going to have to find a way to get the judge to allow the PE tests in court. So file the assault and battery first. See? To see where the argument can go in court and why we're here. Because the judge is going to say, well, we're here for assault and battery. How do you get assault and battery when you both sign contracts and you're both pros? You're in the ring. You can't, you agree to a fight. There's no assault and battery there. And that's how the judge is going to see it. And then they're going to say, well, there was a foul. How was the foul committed? He tested positive from a banned substance, and VADA tested him, and it was so. Now the judge hears the testimony and decides if he's going to let it in. And that's how they'll get those testing vials back into court. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but I know a little bit that you ain't going to legally search my shit. You know what I'm saying? What's Trump saying here? What you saying over here, Trump? Let me read everything you said. That's it. 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That's not fake. Yo, that's crazy. Yo. Wow. It's popping wide open. No Diddy, baby. You got to say no. They both agreed to the fight under the rules. And They're gonna say, play the tape of the fight in court. The judge is gonna be like, play the tape. Yo, let's watch this. Yo, listen, for real talk, man. Um, at the end of the day, you know, you're gonna take the bosses of your job to court. At least one of them. There's like 4 people that like own the company or something. Like 6, 7 people own the company, right? And you're gonna go work for them, and you're gonna sue one of the guys that is the head of the company, and then you're gonna ruffle some feathers in that company. Then you're gonna come back to work, and you think that the company's gonna work with you? Oh yeah, they're gonna hand you out Christmas bonuses now. They're gonna do all this. No, you got a target on your back. And amongst your peers, your boxing constituents, right? You know, the word is gonna go around. Don't fight Devin Haney, he'll sue you. If he doesn't like the way things are going, he'll sue you and your boxing promoter. There's gonna be a lot of stigma. And in actuality, Devin Haney, right? And all of this is happening because of the fans encouraging Devin Haney. Devin Haney's cleaning up the sport. Devin Haney's fighting for what's right. You guys are enabling this. And you guys don't know that he's digging himself a bigger hole with the boxing powers that be. Yeah, morally it's right. But you got to think like the long game. You're still going to go back to work. You got to still be and do business with these people in order to secure these world title fights. And they're not gonna want to do business with them. Because you know what's going on in behind the scenes, right? Oscar De La Hoya is showing everybody like the contracts and shit. And like, look, I got Devin Haney. And he's just butthurt. And I believe by doing that little thing, Oscar De La Hoya, you pissed him off. And you made them feel some kind of way. Oscar De La Hoya, if you didn't do shady business and the Haneys felt at least they got paid well, I don't think they would be suing you guys. Because I bet you if he got paid well, at least, right? He might have talked shit about the PE, got it overturned, but I think they would have walked away from right there. The fact that you got them for like 14, 15 million more dollars, that's not something to walk away from, which is going to make the Haneys want to bring you to court. And here we are. That's exactly what's going on behind closed doors that the Haneys don't want to let you know. But that is exactly what's going on. Oscar De La Hoya talked about it. And that's why Devin Haney's father said, I don't got nothing to talk to you about. Don't call me. To Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya made the video. He was laughing. He was like, come on, don't be butthurt. Call me, talk to me. Because he got him. And that's when you want to go into promoting your own fight. Oh, I'm going to be my own boxing promoter. Oh, you know all the ins and outs of all of a sudden you got a 20-year educating against boxing promoters like this. Like the Don Kings, like the Ed Hearns, like the Bob Arams. Now Leonard Ellerbe. And there's a lot. Errol Spence Jr. got one fighter. Danny Garcia, he was promoting Camille Moten. He's got a fight coming up. And Danny Garcia is putting up being a promoter now. So all of a sudden, you're just going to dive in bed with these guys that have been doing it. You know how many times Oscar De La Hoya left money on the table? You know how many times Oscar De La Hoya got ripped off by Top Rank? He had to take that on the chin and try to get him over on the next one. Then he got over on Ed Hearn. Ed Hearn Yo, Oscar got Ed Hearn for mad money one time on a fight. I can't remember what it was. And Ed Hearn was pissed. And he never wanted to do business with Oscar De La Hoya. They do this to themselves all day. All day they do this shit to themselves. And all of a sudden, Bill Haney, he couldn't take it. And here we are. And that's why, yeah, if he goes along with this, and they're not going to do it for Oscar De La Hoya, let me tell you right now. They're just going to do it to keep their control in boxing. By suing a boxing promoter, just like Top Rank never, Terrence Crawford never went through with it with Bob Arum, did he? The Godfather. Terrence Crawford had a legitimate lawsuit against Bob Arum. And he had a lot of evidence and video evidence of Bob Arum saying shit. Why you think Terrence Crawford didn't go after him? Why you think Terrence Crawford let it go? Because Terrence Crawford was going to need them to secure his fights in the future. You're going to have to do business with them eventually. Eventually. And all this shit you guys are fucking, oh, Devin Haney, yeah, get your justice, get all this stuff. But at what cost? At what cost? Bro, he could win in the lawsuit, and there goes his career. Good luck trying to secure fights with the top boxing promoters, Devin. Good luck. You think PBC is going to work with you? You think Al Heyman's going to work with you? You think the PBC is going to save your life, Devin? The only way you can work with the PBC if you sign to them. They're not going to back you. And if the PBC don't mess with you, which is your last hope, the other three are going to turn, they already turned their back on Devin. Top Rank, Ed Hearns, and Golden Boy. They got the lion's share, just them three of all the boxers. You're done. All right. You guys still want to tell Devin, go ahead with the lawsuit. Devin, get your respect. Go ahead, Devin. Go ahead, Devin. You know what? Go ahead, Devin. Do you, baby. Do you. Go ahead. Go get your couple bucks. I hope it was worth it. I hope those few dollars you get out of Ryan, and if you get anything from Golden Boy, lasts you the rest of your life. I hope that money, like, fucking puts you over somehow. Because after that, you're done. You're done. He's all done. That's why Terrence Crawford dropped that lawsuit. And I saw later. I came to realize that later. Terrence Crawford, they must have told him, yeah, go ahead, sue Bob Arum if you want to. We can't stop you from suing him. But whether you win, lose, or draw, when you come back to work, good luck trying to secure these fights. And Terrence Crawford, mysteriously, like, he had the appeal and everything going. He had 30 days to put the appeal in. He lost the first one, and he never followed it up, did he? No. And ever since he did not follow it up, you know, they've been somewhat working with him and slowly working with him. And now the Saudi prince is coming to bat for Terrence Crawford, and he ain't got no fight out of Top Rank. Bob Arum let bygones be bygone. And now Terrence Crawford is in the room negotiating big fights because he didn't go through with the lawsuit. Go ahead, Devin. Go ahead, Bill. Do your thing. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell all y'all. He goes along with this, they're not going to work with him. They're going to blackball him in boxing. I guarantee it. What's he going to do? Go to the Saudi prince? Saudi prince don't want Devin Haney. He offered Devin Haney fights, and Devin Haney didn't take it. Then the Saudi prince wants to put together the Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney shit, and the Haneys are saying they don't want to fight him. He has no value. He has no market. You ain't got no value and you ain't got no market and you ain't got no belt. I'm not sure if you guys understand this, but you ain't got nothing. That's what that means. So yeah, morally, all right, you got me to see Devin Haney's side. And with that, this dude cheated. This went on. But this turned into something else. This is no longer about PEs. The Bill Haneys and them, they would like you to make you think that is about the PE scandal. No, this is not about the PE scandal no more. It hasn't been for quite some time. Bill Haney's not going after Ryan Garcia and these guys because of the PEs. He wants you to make you think that. He's going after them for all the money that he got cheated out of from Oscar De La Hoya, and he's going to find a way to get some of that money back. They're just butthurt. That's all it is. That's all it is. They want you to think it's about the PEs. But the Haneys were notified, just like the Ryan Garcias of the world were notified of the levels. Both men have their own doctors and level specialists that looks over and reads the finding. Both sides. They don't have the same guy. They have their own guy. So the Haneys have already been told about the level, the amount, and what would have been the benefits to the amount in Ryan Garcia on that night. And they told them what it was. Once they told them what it was, Haney's realized that it wasn't about no more. He beat my son because he cheated of the PEs. Nah. But they had a story. So what they decided to do was double down on it, enforce it, back that lie up. Because they have already been informed about it. And for some reason, they allowed Ryan Garcia to plead out to 2 supplements. Right? So I guess the powers that be didn't feel like the answer that they got from the pros were worthy of an expansion of a fucking PE. And they let him walk out the back door. Yo, the Haneys got played all the way around. And this should be a lesson when you try to play with things you don't know about. The Haneys put themselves in a promotional situation, in a fight situation, all kinds of situations I don't think they would have been in had they had a top promoter company checking out and dotting all the I's and the T's. He goes back in the room when Ryan Garcia was 3.5 pounds overweight. And you mean to tell me you came out of that room with the only guarantee that win, lose, or draw, your son remains the champion? Is he the champion today? How much did you push back to boxing so much that they stripped your son of a belt? You pissed everybody off, the organization, everybody. You got played in business. Where they lost the fight, the Haneys, was in the business room. From the moment they left that office, they lost. They lost that fight. They allowed Ryan Garcia to be the A side when Devin Haney was the fucking champ. It was ridiculous what the Haneys agreed to. I don't know who made their business, and it was Bill probably. Yo, he fucked up all across the board. He feels embarrassed for his son. He knows it. It hit him later. I fucked up. How can I fix this? And now that he saw that Ryan Garcia legitimately fucked up, there it is. There's my angle. I'm going to get us back some of this money they got us for. And it got personal. And here we are. And now boxing's pushing back. The rest of the boxing promoters, Ed Hearn was like, walked away from him. Top Rank walked away. Golden Boy's going to court. The Saudis ain't rocking with him. It's going to be a bad look. At what cost? Yeah, enable. Everybody's enabling Devin. Yeah, Devin, sue him. Yeah, you fuck everything else. This ain't the streets. And you know, we gotta be civil. We gotta bring them to court. Pick and choose your battles. Pick and choose your battles. I try to tell you guys, you know what I'm saying? Undisputed went and took Ryan Garcia out of their video game. That, if you ask me, they're being racist towards Ryan Garcia now. There are about 10 fighters on that video game right now that said racist shit throughout their careers. There's footage. They need to take all those fighters off then. Teofimo Lopez, all of them dudes. Bernal Hopkins, Mike Tyson, fucking. There's a whole bunch of fighters that said some racist shit. In order to make it fair, you would need to take all those fighters off the game, or you're just singling out Ryan Garcia now. That's all you're doing. You're not actually helping the problem. You're making it worse by favoring and making Ryan Garcia the problem of the world. Now Ryan Garcia is the problem with racism. Why would you take him off a boxing game? What is that doing? I'm not buying the game now. I'm boycotting Undisputed. I'm just not going to buy it. I'm not going to purchase it. Nothing. It's not fair. It's not right. You shouldn't do that to him. Not for that. I've heard worse shit than that. What, if everybody just so sensitive now? Bro, I hear dudes outside of my house, brothers, black dudes, talking to black dudes, saying worse stuff than that, than what Ryan said. And Ryan is a minority. They're making you hang one of your own. He's Mexican. He can say the N-word. They're gonna, they're making you turn on your own, and it works. But for all the white people, all them dudes that fucking went and said like a whole bunch of shit, they like, nah. And that's not what's wrong with the world. These boxers, they're making all this shit political. They're just fighters. Like the other day, I saw this one black dude talk about Tank Davis, how he was taking Ryan Garcia now, and they were legitimately calling Tank Davis the C word. I'm not going to even repeat it. And it's not see you next Tuesday like a girl, like the cunt. They weren't saying that to him, the different C word. And they were calling Tank Davis that, right? And they were saying that Tank's a sellout to the black community and that we're not going to let Tank Davis. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. When did you turn these black young fighters into politicians? When did you get into the point where you were saying, whenever a microphone's in their head, these kids that came from inner cities that, in the ghetto, all of a sudden they're coming up, they're getting a little bit of money, they're knocking people out. You want him to catch every angle and to be the voice of the black movement? Now you're holding Devin Haney to the standard because you're an athlete and you got a world stage. Now you got to be involved and you got to take this responsibility. I'm not sure that's the right way to go with all these young men. I don't, let the powers that be, the right people that speak for the black communities and for the Afro-Americans and the people that know what they're talking about. I know that there's men and women out there doing their job and fighting for the right causes. And I got faith that, they're making strides every day. But to put it on Tank Davis, everything that's fucked up in the world is Tank Davis's fault now. He answers for everything. Whatever Tank says, we're going to put it all on Tank. Bro, just let these guys be boxers. What is all these politics? What is these opinions of these reporters coming into the athletic room of any fucking major sport and putting a microphone in their face and telling them to solve the world's problems? This is getting ridiculous. Basketball players, tennis players, tell us what you feel about global warming and hunger. How do we cure it? Like that, like whatever he says is gonna. This is not their place. This is not. They're taking it way too far. Way too far. Yes, these fighters say fucking crazy shit and borderline racist shit. They're fighters. How the hell are you going to judge them to have like high educations and be like, they're in there punching their brains out? Then you want them to get out the ring and be like intellectually catch on when you say something slick. Every time Tank Davis doesn't have the right rebuttal. And if he walks away there, maybe later he would have said in his head, maybe I should have said something. Now everybody on social media is shitting on Tank Davis because he didn't say the right black thing to spark the nation. Bro, they're putting too much emphasis on these fighters. It's getting crazy, man. Let them box, bro. Just let them fight, man. They're not going to solve the world's problems. They're not those kind of guys. There's other people in the world that take care of that shit and that they're qualified to, one, talk about it, deal with it, know how to properly go about it. Tank Davis didn't ask for that. He didn't ask to be in the middle of a race war where they're calling one guy a racist. And if you side with him, now you're one of them. What are they going to take Tank Davis off the game next? It's just crazy. The boxing world, bro. And it's just not boxing. This is not just in boxing. They do this to the NFL players. They do it to the baseball players. They do it to the basketball players. They make LeBron freaking like if he like his basketball dunking skills is going to start the movement. That's not the guy you want to get behind. You want to get a guy behind a guy that knows what he's talking about and is keeping track of all the shit and knows our history and is passionate about bringing the message. You mean to tell me because you can spin around and dunk a basketball, I got to follow what you say? We're looking up to the wrong people. We're putting too much into, it's not. These athletes are not what's wrong with the world. These athletes is not going to fucking change. Just like when they, and what was that comedian that made that joke? But it was true. I forget the comedian. I think it was Chappelle. When he was like the Twin Towers got hit, they was like, let's call Ja Rule. Oh my God, let's ask Ja Rule what's happening. Ja Rule, the buildings got hit. Ja, tell us what to do. Like, what the fuck is Ja Rule qualified to talk about two planes hitting a terrorist attack on a 12? Why are we talking to Ja Rule? Like, the media is fucked up. And they want us to look and put our faith into the wrong people. They wanted to put our faith in athletes that are not qualified to talk about these big situations and topics in life. It's not fair. It's not fair. They didn't ask for this. All of a sudden, Ryan Garcia is a fucking racist, bro. I can't no more, bro. I just can't, man. I just can't. You're going to hold him to a kid that was having a public fucking meltdown, suffers from depression and mental illness, but hold them on some shit when you want to. Teal's dad by himself had said some of the most fucked up shit in boxing. And I'm not saying go after him. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny and by the mouth. Well, then you said some shit out your mouth, you're going to have to answer to. But we're not calling him a racist. We're not taking his son off a video game. We're not going, trying to make him the problem. It's just, It's just too much. It really is. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. This is getting way out of hand with these athletes and all these situations that they're putting these athletes under. They shouldn't do that. They didn't go to school to study politics and then came out to be a boxer to talk about the mayor situation or whatever. It's just it's no. I can't believe Undisputed did that. They act like they did something. They're helping the situation. They actually made the situation 10 times worse in my eyes. Because that they're actually trying to label Ryan now like that. That's not cool. Do I believe Ryan Garcia is a racist? No. Hell no. Do I believe he's a young man that's going through some shit and that said some stupid shit? Yes. 100%. Yes. Ryan Garcia was frustrated with the world, frustrated with everything else, and he uttered out some dumb shit. And he's done it time and time again. He's been on drugs, alcohol, mental health. Um, but yet, you know, he says some shit to some girls, and all of a sudden, what? We gotta ruin this kid's life? That's what we gotta do? Have at it, bro. This is some bullshit, bro. Yeah, it is. Edwin, Edwin, is Japan going to televise the two fights next Saturday, October 13th, Casamera? That's a good fucking question. That is a good question. And where could you find that? I'm going to have to look that up for you guys and definitely come up with an answer for you guys where you guys can tune in and watch this fight. It's going to be the 13th and 14th because that's going to be the two big cards that we on this channel right here pay attention to, which is going to be Takuna Inoue right on the 13th and Junto Nakatoni the 14th. But also Casemiro is fighting on the undercard on the very prelims. So I believe if you don't got like connected to the big stream, they might not even show Casemiro's fight on TV unless you were over there watching it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as finding out how to watch their prelims, that I'm gonna have to look up for you. I'm gonna have to look that up, find that out, and I'm gonna get back to you absolutely on that. He should have done what Kodos did. Shut your mouth and get a rematch and prove to people who is the better between the two of them. It's been late for that. It's too late for that. They can back shit up. It's never too late to pull those lawsuits out of court and saying, Ryan Garcia, I'll meet you at 147. Agree to fight me. I'll agree to fight you. Have a better lawyer and better contract put in place and get the lion's share of the money. Go back to Oscar and Golden Boy and them and say, I'll drop the lawsuit. We start working the contract out between the rematch. I see that I'm heavily paid, and I'm getting my money's worth. Drop the lawsuit, start training for the rematch. Fight at 147. Let bygones be bygones and let's settle it in the ring. It's never too late to fix this. The minute it becomes too late is when we start hiring and paying for lawyers and we're in court. You already pissed people off. People had to wake up early this morning and pay their lawyers. Some people got retainers on their lawyers or whatever, to show up, but once you go so far and you start costing people money and then you want to pull out and say, no, now let's talk about it. They're going to say, no, we're going to go all the way. They end up beating you in the case. The worst case scenario is Devin Haney goes to court and loses. He drags them all into court and he loses. That's the super ultimate worst case scenario, because that's just like you pulling out a gun on me, pulling the trigger and your gun jams. Okay, your gun jammed, but you just try to kill me. If that gun didn't jam, I would be dead. So this bullet I'm about to put in your head, it's not personal. It's just that you fucked up. You took a shot at me and you missed. You missed. Now I'm afraid I just can't leave you walking around. What if you go get another gun that works? You already proved to me you shot at me. You were going to shoot me. Had your gun not jammed, I would be dead. But since your gun jammed, take this with you. Right? You can't take a shot at them, lose, and then come back and expect them to do business with you. Now you went too far and you lost. So now you're going to hit the triple trifecta whammy. He's probably going to get another ass whooping, brother. Armando, he's probably going to get another ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? But at least he can go in there better prepared. And really try to fight Ryan out. Look, guys, I'm going to tell you right now. If they fight at 140, Devin Haney's better prepared, he might beat Ryan. He might beat Ryan. Ryan's strong, right? And Ryan's pretty quick. But if you know how to take away the little bit of things that Ryan does well, it's not hard to nullify his skills. Not at the skill level that he's at. Not sure what he's doing off season, if he's working with anybody or he's just partying. But from what I saw, if we take away that left check hook in the first round and Devin really tightens up and uses his mobility, we saw in multiple rounds Devin Haney win rounds because Ryan Garcia's boxing style and skills couldn't hold up. His cardio, everything wasn't holding up. So if little ass Tank Davis can avoid Ryan Garcia's shots, slip and move his shots, let's just remember, Tank Davis dropped them twice in that fight. The first time he hit Ryan with a shot, hit him in the chin, and he put Ryan on his ass. The second time he dropped him, he snapped his rib. Right? So little Tank Davis has the skills to move around Ryan Garcia's shots, nullify his power, and be effective. Devin Haney has skills, real skills, right? He was exposed on that night. He was caught early, vicious. He never really recovered. He never had his feet underneath him. He by like the fourth round, those punches were too heavy. Devin knows now his punch is too heavy for him. He's not going to allow Ryan to really corner him in to take those punches. You're going to have to block, spin, roll, push off, and I think with another shot and at a bigger weight, at the bigger weight, it would favor Ryan. It's not going to favor Devin. For the once, Devin's not the weight bully in this case. Ryan's so much bigger than him. So 147 would actually probably favor Ryan. His punch would be even that much harder. Devin's going to have to find out how to nullify his power. He just can't get caught by that punch, by that check hook. He can't get caught by the punch or the right, really. He's going to have to stay sharp. He's going to have to block, roll with these punches, keep Ryan in front of him. He doesn't want to stay mid range with Devin. That's the worst thing you want to do. And don't throw jabs from mid range. You know, don't throw because that's what he did wrong. He threw the jab from mid range. And his jab was extended. It left him exposed. It extended him just that much. And Ryan's that fast, and he sharply got that shot in. So, but I think that Devin would have better success in the second time. I'm not sure he beats Ryan. Maybe, maybe not. But I think it'll be a better fight the second time than it was the first time. It might be the same outcome. Ryan might just knock him out cold. Devin, he just might knock him out cold this time. Because when you drop somebody like that many times and you hurt him that bad, the next time you fight him, it's not going to be a question in your head whether you could hurt him or drop him. You just got to touch him. That's it. So Ryan's got that confidence coming into that fight. That's a dangerous fight. It's a dangerous fight. It's not going to be at 140. I know that because Ryan can't make 140. Never seen Devin Haney fight at 147. He's always seen big for the weight at 135. Soon as he get up to 140, 5 fucking pounds, bro. Look what he went from being a weight bully at 135, where he was criticized being around these smaller guys. He moves up just 5 pounds to a new weight division, and Devin Haney all of a sudden became tiny against the real big guys in the division. So yeah, it would be a big fight. But I would definitely try to take the fight back to the ring rather than doing what Devin Haney is doing. Like morally and everything, yeah, man. You know, but not where you're at, not at your job, not when you're surrounded. No. No. I could see if you never had to fuck with them again. I can see if you were suing your company, you were walking away, you were going to go through with the lawsuit, they give you your money, you go your other way. As soon as the lawsuit's over, you got to go back to the people that you're doing business with. I don't know where they're in the world that makes sense. It's kind of like sleeping with your barber's wife or girlfriend and then going to his barbershop the next day and getting a haircut. Yo, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Yeah. Just came in for a haircut. Yeah, sit right here. If you're stupid enough to sit in that chair, come on, man. Devin's got to go back to work. I don't know. Yeah, I got you. Did you say you wanted a haircut next? Yeah, yo, my chair just opened up. What a coincidence. Sit right down. I got you. Yeah. So how's the missus doing? Yeah, yeah. Yo. Yeah, we got a divorce and you're her new boyfriend. And you walk in and want a haircut. I'm gonna hook you right up. I got you. Matter of fact, my schedule cleared. I ain't got nobody else. Sit right down. Yo. The fuck is going on with this UFC shit? Excuse me. Well, the girls are going in right now for the co-main event, from what I'm seeing, and and then next is going to be the main event versus Alex Pereira, right? Uh, what is this? Pennington going in right now. The main event is going to be Alex Pereira and Roundtree Jr. It's going to be the main event in the UFC. These two girls right now are fighting for the UFC women's title that was once occupied by the best female champion of the world, Amanda Nunes. This is not working. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I was on mute for a little while. Yeah. Because I was just coughing, so I put it on mute. You know what I mean? Hearing me cough and shit. I won't be coughing nobody's ear. Here we go. I hope I didn't miss these fights, fucking just chopping it up. But the last I heard was one of the reports here that the girls were going heading into the ring, in fact, and that Roundtree Jr. and Pereira haven't entered the ring. That was one of the fights I just wanted to cover real quick. It's gonna be a Roundtree's not a freaking slouch. You know, I know he's never fought for a world title in the UFC yet, you know, but I don't count him out in this fight against Alex Pereira. And Alex Pereira right now has been single-handedly carrying the UFC on their back. It seems like every other month he's fighting. Like I've seen Alex Pereira in the ring this year and last year so many times already. He's carrying the UFC right now. John Jones, no one knows what the hell he's doing. Sean O'Malley lost. The UFC stars are like, you know, Francis Ngannou walked away. Demetrius Johnson was like the best UFC fighter in the world, and they didn't even support him, the fans. I don't understand why. He was fucking amazing. Then all of a sudden, it's like, the last style bender falls. Once the kick heard around the world, Leeward Edmonds, why am I having such a freaking trouble today pronouncing these names? Leroy Edmonds knocked out Edwards. I mean, Edwards, not Edmonds. What am I talking? Leroy Edmonds was a friend of mine growing up. What the fuck? Anyway, he knocked out Usman with that kick heard around the world, like they just started losing all their stars. All their like champions started taking like losses and weird champions started popping up. And I know like Dana White was like real scared when Sean Strickland became world champion because you never know what he's going to say with a microphone in front of his face. Sean Strickland is capable of saying anything, right? So it always made Dana White like real nervous and shit. And like, you know, they got a lot of these Brazilian dudes fighting on the UFC and shit, trying to get these small kind of paychecks, but the UFC ain't pushing out that kind of money for like all the coaches these guys got to pay for to it's not see in boxing you got to get a boxing coach. In the UFC you got to get a jiu-jitsu, a striking coach, a fucking Muay Thai coach, a striking coach, like all these coaches, and they're not free and they're not cheap. And you're not making the kind of money in the UFC where that you can pay for all these coaches. So what the UFC does, Dana White, his little shady ass, right? He opened up the UFC facility in Las Vegas. If you ain't got no money, go live in the UFC facility, and they give you like world class training for free, jiu-jitsu coach, all that, saunas for free. You don't got to pay for any of it. You just got to be on the UFC roster. You know, if he got you on the UFC roster, everything's the food, everything. And a lot of fighters Dana White tip the balance field where some guys were able and had the money to pay for all those coaches, but some people were coming out of poverty. They wanted to fight. And the fights weren't even back then. It was just like one-sided fights and shit. And guys were getting choked out and didn't understand it when Hoist Gracie was choking everybody out. So that's what he did. But yeah, it's not I wanted to see this fight. Hold on with the girls. Why can't I see these fights? What's going on right now? This is Pennington and that other girl that beat Amanda Nunes. That was crazy when she beat Amanda like that. That was probably one of the biggest upsets I've ever seen in combat sports. I never thought she was going to beat Amanda like that. Not like the way she did. And then they showed the replay. And she didn't even have her arm underneath Amanda's neck. Amanda was in training. She was exhausted. Amanda beat the shit out of her in the rematch, though. And that's exactly what Devin Haney needs to do with fucking Ryan Garcia. He needs to take a page out of Amanda Nunes and some of these champions, like Miguel Cotto, for one. You know, he took his loss. He could have sued Margarito. He could have went to court and did all that shit. Yeah, of course he could have. But he didn't. Miguel Cotto chose to settle his differences in the ring. And I feel, for one, and a lot of other people feel Devin should do the same. But since this got out of control, and it's just not about the PE scandal, it's about money. This is about money. And the Haneys got played, bro. This is what it's about. Bill Haney didn't get the best contract for his son, and he hasn't in quite some times. And if Devin Haney had anybody to blame, probably be the people that were working over that contract. Had they not fucked up the contract so bad, you would have some money right now. But no. What's up, fight fans out there? What do you guys want to talk about? You guys got any questions? Anything you want to talk about? Now it seems like this fucking, I can't even get this. And I'm not. Let me put up, just in case anybody wants to come in. I'm going to put the, if I can. Doesn't seem like anything's working today. There you go. You're going to regret it. It's just, you guys got to understand, man. The powers that be didn't like what Mayweather was doing. They never liked it, right? The problem is the way that they thought that they were going to teach Mayweather a lesson was to let him go out there and fall on his face. So legitimately, it was a weird thing to do for a person to branch off from the promotional company at the height of his career, right? So they really made a mistake they really, really underestimated Mayweather. They really did. Because they wouldn't have never would let him get that big. The powers that be, Top Rank and all them dudes. These dudes actually thought he was going to lose to Oscar De La Hoya and fighters like that. And they thought that Mayweather was a flamboyant, he had a flamboyant lifestyle, and that eventually he was going to be like any other fighter and destroy himself. That's basically what they were counting on. Mayweather seriously flipped it on these dudes so bad that by time Mayweather Mania got so far out of control, they um they uh they couldn't stop it. Now they had to work with him. Now he had like uh top networks like HBO. First HBO was fucking with Mayweather. Then somehow, some way, HBO, Top Rank, they try to like blackball Mayweather. And Mayweather asked for a certain amount of money, and HBO told him, we don't think you're worth it. Or all of a sudden, out of like nowhere, right? And Mayweather was like, hold on. I brought you all this money, HBO, and out of nowhere. And it was because the other promoters companies like Don King, Top Rank, they were fucking with HBO heavy. HBO picked the side, and HBO picked the promotional side. Out of nowhere, Showtime gave Mayweather all the keys. Showtime was like, HBO is crazy, Mayweather. We don't know why they didn't want to do this. We'll give you $1 billion fight. And Showtime put up all the money for Mayweather. They backed Mayweather up, and Mayweather took off. That was just like one coincidence thing. He got himself in a position, and the Mayweather train was taking off, and some other network saw the opportunity with Mayweather and said, fuck it, we're going to break into boxing, and we're going to do it with Mayweather, and it paid off. See, that was Mayweather's situation. It's not like, see, Mayweather got all these people confused, like he's coming in and it's possible for you to do all this shit and that you're not going to ruffle a few feathers. No, Mayweather fell at a very interesting time. These boxing promoters now today, they with all these streaming apps and stuff, you think like the Jake Pauls of the world, right? Are gonna come in and like make millions of dollars and make other like boxers look stupid, right? Well, that's what they want you to think, right? In reality, this is what happened with Jake Paul. Jake Paul had a massive, huge following on social media. He was a social media fucking. Before Jake Paul ever put on one boxing glove, he was already making in the millions of dollars on social media. He was in front of cameras. He had a huge following. He brought it over to boxing. Now, the stigma of you making all this money with no belts, and we live in an era where guys could just transcend like Francis Ngannou and shit. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's a fucking lie. Francis Ngannou was the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. He had a name for himself. He didn't just climb out of bed and walk into boxing and make millions. No, he did some shit. And Jake Paul did some shit, but it wasn't in the fighting. But if you pay attention, when was one of the biggest Jake Paul paydays that he made the most money out of? In his loss to Tyson Fury's little brother. What was that fight advertised for? For a fake ass WBC world title that Tyson Fury's little brother walked off with at the end of the fight. What did you see? A world title, allegedly. Wasn't a real world title, but was it a belt? Yeah. Did he pull off that night without that fucking storyline and that phony ass belt? No. Jake Paul would have never pulled that off without that fucking fake ass belt that the WBC was actually trying to make it a real belt. Until Tyson Fury's little brother spoiled the night. Those are like special. If they're trying to convince you that you can come from your your nearby boys club, box, get into boxing, and make millions of dollars with no belts, show me that guy. Show me a guy that didn't have this huge following. Ryan Garcia couldn't do it. Ryan Garcia is the epitome of that. He had a huge social media following on social media, but his fights weren't selling out. He had the look, everything. He was knocking people out. He just didn't have a belt. It's just a coincidence that his biggest payday was advertised for a world title fight. But that has nothing to do with it. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? There are a lot of things that from the outside looking in, they might seem a certain way. And just because these guys are saying it must be true. Really. Prove it to me. Show me. That's all. That's all I want to see. Show me. Where is it? Then there's that other dude in the Brit that he got all those Ben, what's his name? Ben whatever. And he's like dancing in the ring, spinning around. Yo, my man is packing stadiums, bro. Did you see the size of that fight? He's not a world champion. He ain't none of that. But what they quickly do, they quickly made up some interim belt or something and they put it around his waist. Did you see those phony baloney belts around his waist? But it doesn't matter about the belts. It's what you see. What do you see? He looks like a world champion. He's got a belt around his waist. I don't know much about boxing, but he's got a belt around his waist. And all of a sudden, them fucking stadiums are getting more packed. He's going out there making title defenses on that belt, whatever it is, right? And I'm like, the boxing world knows. They know. They'll have you fighting for some fucking Oriental Express belt in a heartbeat. Yeah. All right, man. I might have passed on this fight. I just didn't get it in. But and I think the fight might be over with, right? Because I can't get it. So I'm gonna have to apologize on this one, I guess. I can't see the fight. Um Something's wrong. I don't know what it is. Just it's not it's not going through. I don't know. Naoya Inoue against Nick Ball. I gotta go assess that. Really like assess that fight. Uh Nick Ball looked very strong against a much bigger guy. The question is always when you're moving up in weight, will your power transition to the next, division? Naoya Inoue has moved up 4 weight divisions, 3 actually from the one he started in, which means that his power has been moving with him fairly well. I really haven't seen it, but his power could be there, but could his power be enough power to stop these much bigger fighters? Now that's the question. Where that I'm not sure. The trash talk that MJ's been saying about Naoya Inoue, of course he's gonna attach his name to Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue is the hottest thing. It's the money fight down there in the lower weight division. He's the cash cow down there. When you want a fight against the cash cow, all of a sudden you start talking shit about him. Starts saying that he's ducking you probably. Let me guess. I haven't seen the interview, but let me take a shot in the dark. Okay. He's probably saying that Naoya Inoue ducked him, that he wanted to fight him before TJ Doheny, but Naoya Inoue and his team somehow passed up on the offer to fight MJ, right? Let me see, what else would he say? Maybe Naoya Inoue all of a sudden is scared of him. I don't know. He I don't know what could he possibly say, but he might say something around those lines, which ironically, the guy that beat you, he beat him and took your former world title belts that you weren't good enough to hold on to. Somehow, Naoya Inoue is scared of MJ in his world. If you let him tell it, somehow he's scared of him. I don't get it. You weren't good enough to keep your belts. And the guy that beat you, he beat. Run that by me again. Who's scared of who? Yeah, he probably did say that shit, right? Ghost Rider? Did he? Did he? I'm gonna take a shot at the dark. It's probably what he said. And I haven't even seen the interview. These guys are so full of it, bro. I mean, I've seen this happen for so many years in the sport of boxing that when it is happening, I can tell right away. I know where you're gonna go with this. I've seen this unfold so many times. MJ priced himself out. He was asking for ridiculous stuff to Top Rank. He pissed off Bob Arum. It's from what I'm being told. That's what I'm being told. Remember, I got my guy that's connected to Top Rank. The guy that has been on my show. That he goes to their fights. He's a reporter for them. Remember, I have a direct line to Top Rank. Okay? And I'm trying to tell you, Bob Arum said he was pissed off with Marlon Tapale's boxing promoter, that guy. And that he was asking for ridiculous shit. That's why I told you guys that. So I'm not just talking out the side of my ass. You guys have seen the guys that I know. I've brought them on my show, And I call them on a daily basis. We're always talking about boxing. And that's why I said, this Marlon Tapales thing, Marlon Tapales also wasn't ready for the fight, and he was trying to dictate when the date of the fight should take place, and that he needed more time. Naoya Inoue was telling him, that's not how this works. Either you can make the date that I've provided, or you can't make the fight. And Marlon Tapales started saying, no, I'll fight you, but you got to fight me on this date. I was saying, who the fuck you think you are? This is my fight card. You're coming in to challenge me. I'm the A side. I'm going to tell you once again, can you make this date? Yes or no? No, I want to fight you, but on my terms. And when Naoya Inoue passed on him and went to somebody else, he started screaming, Naoya Inoue's ducking me. That's what happened. And that is exactly what happened. I can't get this goddamn fight for Alex Pereira. You guys got to excuse me. I know we're going to watch this fight. Apparently, something's going wrong with my internet. It's not popping up on the screen. The other one was glitching out. My internet service is not even like clicking right now. I guess it's because of the rain or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe something. My channel would have cut out if the internet. I might be getting service, but I might be getting like lows, something. I'm looking at the cameras right now, seeing the weather, but it's just not popping up. So I apologize for that. I'm not probably going to be able to cover the Alex Pereira fight, but if you're watching it at home, please enjoy the fight. And don't tell me about the fights, because I'll catch it later. I'll go on streaming service and I'll catch it later and stuff. But I apologize for that. But yeah, we still got to talk about a lot of good stories in the sport of boxing. And I got to get you guys' feedback on some of these things and topics that are going around in boxing right now, and how you guys feel about this stuff, um, them putting our athletes in compromising situations and making them choose sides, and putting all this, expectation on these guys that are really not qualified to talk about some of these topics, and as an athlete, he or she sometimes doesn't choose to take this responsibility on. I believe that they should be the ones to step up. Sometimes it kind of puts them in an awkward situation. And sometimes you don't need them to be fighting political wars outside when they need to concentrate and focus and be the sharpest in the ring. I shouldn't have to be thinking about the conversation I had last week with someone that left a distasteful image in my head why I'm coming into one of the biggest fights of my life, fighting for a world championship, and I have to be the speaker of my people. No, I believe that they have a lot of people way more qualified for that, and that they're doing a hell of a job. And I hope them the best, and that they keep making strides forward. I just don't believe that an athlete is the one that should be, put all this pressure upon. They didn't ask for this. They didn't ask to be in the middle of it. And you can't force that onto every athlete. It says like, no, you're Puerto Rican, Edwin. So since you're a popular boxer or whatever, you must use your platform to support your people. That's not cool. That's not right. That is not right. Because I didn't ask for any of that. I didn't ask for anybody to come. I didn't start boxing to move up to get in a controversy about another person's situation, and all of a sudden I got my word is going to lead a movement or something. Like, what the fuck is going on? All I wanted to do was fight. And it shouldn't be. But if I was to choose to use my platform as an athlete, then I should. You know what I'm saying? Because if I feel like I can make a change or a difference, I have a microphone in front of me. And if I choose to engage into this, well, then that would be my choice. It shouldn't be forced upon me, because not everybody's a speaker or a talker. Not everybody can say the right things. Everybody might be afraid of a microphone in their face, and somebody say something, you answer it wrong. And then all of a sudden now you're the racist because you weren't prepared to answer questions the proper way. Or this guy ticks you off and you say something. Of course he's going to tick you. You're a fighter by nature. You might say something, these fighters are not prepared to say the right thing time and time again. They're not all smart. All these fighters, there's some fighters that are very intelligent. Yes, but not every fighters are like that. You put Sean Strickland in front of a microphone and you expect him to say time and time again, he says borderline racist shit, and he crosses the line, Sean Strickland, right? But he's a fighter, bro. What you're asking this guy to be like this educated dude that says all the right things. And then now you're going to hold him to some fighter shit that he said. That's not cool. That's not cool, man. You're just setting these athletes up for failure. They might say one thing one day and everybody's like, yeah, we needed to hear that at this right time. And the next day he might be so arrogant. Yeah, man, I said the right thing the first time, right? And they just fuck it up because they're not trained to talk. And I don't want to see no more fighters go down by other things than rather fighting. Life, drugs, alcohol, sex took a whole bunch of my favorite fighters away from me. Car accidents, everything else but boxing. What would have Muhammad Ali be if they didn't put him in jail for 3 years? Where would Mike Tyson be without drugs, prostitutes, and that charge? Where would a lot of these legends be without cocaine? Everything freaking else, man. It's always something. They never let the fighter have a full-fledged career so that we didn't have any doubts. There's a lot of doubts about Cassius Clay and Muhammad Ali. They're the same man. Muhammad Ali was born Cassius Clay, changed his name. Cassius Clay never lost. They're always doing something. They're always dragging our fighters from politics out on the street or other stuff rather than beating them in the ring where they were the best at. That's where they shine. That's where they meant something. Floyd Mayweather can't read or write, but doesn't mean he wasn't a genius. His genius was in the ring. They might laugh at him because he's not book smart. But when he drives by you in that new Bentley with all them diamonds, laugh at that. Laugh at that. You know, I can't knock him for being successful. What am I mad because I don't got that shit? Nah, I can't hate on him. I'm a man, bro. I know how to go get it too. Get it the right way. Today I get it by the book, man. Work hard. I put in my due diligence and I'm putting in my time on this show to get it the right way in life. Because the right way, I found that you keep things and you earned it. You appreciate it more. That's what I learned. I also learned that, sometimes if I'm not qualified to talk about plumbing, I don't know nothing about plumbing. What the fuck am I going to get up here and talk about plumbing for? I'm going to tell you how to fix your toilet. What's the proper way to fix your sink? They come up, Edwin, what? What do you think are the plumbing problems of the world? Let's ask Edwin from Roundwood Sports Talk. I got you. Listen, yo, the hell am I? I'm not qualified to talk with that shit, bro. I don't know the first thing about plumbing, bro. I can't tell you. I can't help you. But some of these guys, the pressure, the questions, the media, everything, some of these guys got to be properly prepared by your media team if you have one, or you should get somebody that walks you through a lot of these situations so that when they occur, you know exactly what to say to get slide around it. No further question. I have no comment on that. Edwin, what do you think Donald Trump should do about? Bro, I'm a boxer. What the hell do I care? Like, go ask a politician that question that's qualified to answer it. My answer is not going to change the world. Like, what? Like, but anyway, listen, fight fans, you guys are the best. Where do you stay at, bro? I stay in Boston, Massachusetts. But I'm out in the country, like on the outskirts and shit. Like my neighbors got chickens and shit. They be giving me free eggs and shit. Pretty cool. My down neighbor, she got a couple goats, and one of them got like horses. My neighbor down the road, more further down the road, she has some beautiful horses. She has like big horses, bro, like nice ones and shit. And so it'll rain like for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes in like one place. and then like in the town next door or whatever. And since like all our power lines are connected, so if it's raining over there in 20 minutes, 15 minutes, you know it's going to come this way. So all you got to do is wait for it. And the rain's going to come and it's going to hit. But if it was hitting on that side, so you could kind of judge it like that. So it does that sometimes. And it doesn't necessarily mean it rains on the entire Boston. It doesn't do that because I've seen where it rained like in Worcester or Springfield, and my wife works out there. And she's calling me and she's like, man, it's raining hard out here. And I'm looking outside. It's sunny as fuck. I'm like, it's not raining. That's happened to us thousands of times. It just, you know. Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I really get the pay-per-view and stay on the stream from the prelims? And I've been sitting here waiting for it to change, and it never changed the screen. But I'm supposed to go to the pay-per-view one and it'll come up. Don't say that right now, because if I click this button and that shit pops up, I'm turning this stream on. I don't feel, because that's what's gonna happen, ain't it? Right? Yo, it's not like the boxing. I thought I could just sit here from the ESPN until he just said it. Now I'm sitting here going, he's probably right. Fuck it, I'm not watching it. I ain't watching it. Ah. Yeah, I probably did that. Yo, I probably did that. Damn it. I know I'm gonna turn this on. He's gonna click right on, man. I I was gonna be like, man, I bought this shit. I know they better not take this off my credit card, and it's fucking me. Ugh. Anyway, listen, guys. Yo, see, some of us ain't qualified for some of these simple tasks. All right. But yet, I got a cure and answer to world hunger. I gotta, you know what I mean? Fucking crazy, bro. Listen, fight fans, you guys have been amazing. I'm gonna cut this stream right here and watch the rest of this fight. This P. Diddy shit's everywhere, huh? Good luck, homie. I mean, me watching you ain't gonna get you out of jail any sooner, so I really don't. I guess I'll watch it when they say they dropped that fucking 30-year sentence on him. Because the charges allegedly he's being charged with, two of the charges have a, a statue on them, which they say it's a minimum. When they say a minimum, like if they say the crime carries a statute of a minimum of 10 years, if you're found guilty, they start from 10 years and up, like that. There's no way under 10 years. It says a minimum of 10 years. That charge starts at 10 years. So two of his charges start at 10 years. So that's 20 years right there. So he's already at 20 years by statute of law. There's no way under it. The only way underneath it, the federal court would have to drop some of the charges, reduce the charges in order to get out of the statute of the 10 years. In order to get out of that, his lawyers would have to negotiate and reduce the charges down. Once you're under the statute where you're no longer on the statute where it's 10 years, well, then now you can negotiate 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, and etc. Right? The fact that the feds have a 90% conviction rate before the feds go to your house and pick you up, they've already established their case. It's just a matter of you being found guilty now. And for how long, right? Then what happens is, say you get convicted in the feds, right? This is the worst part. This is what they don't tell you. You got to have kind of experience in this kind of shit. Unfortunately, I do. Fucking what happens is when you're sitting in a federal prison, that's all dead time. For as long as this trial keeps going and he sits in that New York City jail, all that time there will not be given time credit like a state sentence. If you're in the county waiting trial, you're there maybe 18 months, a year, you plead guilty to 2 years, you'll get a credit for the 18 months you've been in jail and you go upstate. You start from there. But in the feds, no Fed case has ever given you credit for the time sitting waiting trial. They consider that, they call it dead time. That's on you. You and your lawyers got to speed up your trial to try to get it. There's been guys fighting cases in the feds for 4 years of their life, and that is 4 free years. Those years do not count off your sentence. So if anybody wants to argue that with me, I trust they can't, right? Then what happens is when you get sentenced, let's say P. Diddy, let's just hypothetically, let's say they give him 20 years. Let's say they found him guilty for those charges and there was a minimum of 10 and 10. Okay. He gets sentenced. Where is he going to go? It all depends what federal prison. If you were dealing with tobacco and firearms, you would go to Kansas City federal prison because that's like the main one for that. There's multiple ones. There's no telling. I can't guess that. Okay. But once he gets to his destination, he's going to go downstairs to what they call receiving. And in receiving and booking, what they're going to do in the feds is they process, basically they do a report card on your life. Is basically what it, and if I'll say the terms, but you guys might not understand it. But to sum it up, what the feds do is basically a report card on your life. They ask you, where have you ever been married? How many kids do you have? Have you ever been in jail? Have you ever done any county time? Have you ever done any juvenile time? Okay, how many years have you done? How many? They add it up from the juvenile to the county to the state. And they put you on a point system on a chart. And I mean, everything you've done in your life starts to go plus and minuses on a chart. Whatever number that chart says at the bottom of the chart, they tack that number to your sentence. So if you got 20 years and the chart says 7, you got to do 27 years. That's how the feds work. That number chart, whatever it says, is how dangerous you are, how many, and I mean everything you've done. That number can stem from anywhere. They can give you an additional 2 to 3 years, 7, 10 years, depending how bad you were in society or how good or what you did, and they add all that shit up and they add those years onto your sentence. Once they establish that, let's say they added an additional 7 years onto P. Diddy's sentence, 27 years. Okay. Then you get a caseworker. The caseworker tells you got to do 85% of your time. 85% of 27 years. So the good time adds up 2.5 days per month. You get 2.5 days for school, going to school, trying to get your GED. You'll get 2.5 days for work programs or whatever the jail has, but you can get those days. Wrong fart in jail, they're going to take those 2.5 days away from you. Don't even think about getting in a fight, because nowadays, if you get in a fight, you're getting charged. You're going back to court. They're going to add 30 days more to your sentence for every fight you're in jail now. That's a new jail rule they've been putting around all country. All fights are criminal charges now. So when they're saying they're in there going to beat up P. Diddy up, he's a billionaire. You really going to run up on a billionaire that got some money to go pay somebody to go to your house? Yeah, okay. I don't think they're running up on P. Diddy in there, and I don't think he's going to be living too bad in there. The reality is money controls shit. And if you think somebody's going to extort P. Diddy, why would I sit back and let you extort me when I can hire some help? He's going to be okay. Men like that don't really suffer in jail. P. Diddy ain't no coward. He ain't like no, he ain't like no street fighter or nothing. I mean, he ain't no real, but he ain't no coward. He smacked the shit out of Drake, right? So I don't think he's like a bitch. So when you got that kind of money that you screw over people in life, he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out in jail. Hell yeah. And he got money to hire some help. So don't think, oh, they raping P. Diddy right now. They smacking him up like a bitch. Yeah, right, bro. Yeah, right. You really think I'm a billionaire? I'm going to walk into prison. Hey, you're going to pay his protection. Really? Yo, $100 a piece. Smack this nigga up. Yo, right? Right? What you mean? You gonna do what? Who wants to make a couple bucks? Come on, man. I'll have that dude beat up every day. Every day for him grabbing my sweater like that. For no reason. I wake up, you 5. Beat him up. You ain't doing nothing to me, man. And mess around and you be the dude that punched me in my face. Go ahead. Go ahead. I got lawyer phone calls. My lawyer's coming to see me. Yeah, I can get a message out. I don't got to use the phone. Don't. Oh, that looks okay. Your little brother's going to get fucked up. yo, they're not fucking with P. Diddy, man. He's a thug, man. He didn't get this far because he don't got no friends in New York City. Like one of the biggest fucking, there's a lot of people that don't like him. Yeah, and there's a lot of powerful people too. He's not the most powerful, but shit, you want me to believe that P. Diddy's in there ass naked? He don't know nobody, like he's just shaking in a corner? Fuck out of here, bro. That's not happening. That dude's a multi-million-dollar dude. He got a lot of connects. He might have did a lot of people wrong, but still. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be just fine. But he's gonna get smoked. You might want to get comfortable, bro. He gonna be there for a while. Once the feds come get you, bro, it's hard to get out of their clutch. Real hard, bro. They basically got their case built. I know that much. They just don't pick you up like that. The way they hit his properties, I know very little about this case. I've seen real small things, but unfortunately, I've seen that so many times in my life, and where I was brought up, I don't care to see it anymore because I'm trying desperately to run away from that, and I have been for the last 10 years. Running away from that kind of lifestyle and making those kind of decisions in my life. I don't care nothing about it. I've had my own share of problems and I escaped my own things, not to like sit here and judge another man for his wrongs. Those are his wrongs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. Shit, if that motherfucker really did have $1,000 of baby oil and that shit ain't then motherfuckers was real shiny up in that bitch. They was real shiny. And let me tell you something right now. You couldn't put me in no wrestling moves. So how the fuck was he holding these people down? You know what I'm saying? You can slip out of anything. yo, you know what I mean? That had to be somewhere, had to be voluntary. You know what I mean? Because we slipping up in this motherfucker, right? If you wanted to get away, just throw all the baby oil on and just be like, slide through. Yo, they ain't gonna hold you, you know. Yo, that's crazy. 1,000 things of baby oil. But my man was doing it right, right? He was doing it real big. You know what I'm saying? yo, Armando, they was shiny as fuck, boy. Listen, guys, my wife just got home, guys. I've been having an amazing time with you guys. I gotta go talk to the missus, you know. So listen, fight fans, you guys love yourselves, you know. Keep it simple. Keep it simple with all these things going around, politics and everything. Just keep it simple. Pay attention to what's in front of you, your goals, your loved ones. You know, I'm pretty sure that we have our own issues to worry about what's going on with these people. So love yourselves. Have a good night. Don't forget to give the videos a like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace.